What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Verse Crypto channel, the most savage and degenerate crypto channel out there. My name is Khaos Kris, and I'll be your host today. Before episode, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn on bell notifications so I can keep you guys up to date with the latest, greatest news and information within the space. With that being said, let's hop right in this video. As always, we have another awesome live stream. Today, we're going to be talking about titanX, and the question I have for all you guys: will titanX replace launch pads? I've seen a lot of really great live streams with some awesome influencers. I see a lot of conversations in the community. And right now, the big conversation is, can titanX go to $1, penny, something crazy like that? But I think we're not talking about the main utility behind this project. Green candles are great. The ETH payouts are awesome. But the big mission that I want to have a conversation with you guys about is how are we going to change the face of crypto through this launchpad, or the approach that titanX set up so that projects can launch on top of it. So we're going to go all into that today. But for right now, let's check out Bitcoin and let everyone get into the live stream, and we'll go from there, man. So do a quick screen share, see what's going on with Bitcoin, man. We are just busting to the upside. This is crazy. So we had a little bit of a breakout coming up here. Looks like we're hitting price discovery, and we're sitting at about 43 to 44K. And we're going to start making some big moves coming up here to this 46K line. Now, something that I'm predicting is we'll probably head to the upside. I'm not sure how next week's going to work with the holidays. Right now, it's just cryptocurrency trading since I believe the stock market's closed right now. So if we start heading up here, this is where we're going to test this resistance, and we might go a little bit down, or we might just bounce up and keep going to the upside. But overall, looks like we're just on par for a pretty bullish end of the month, and then I think January is looking pretty bullish as well. And then I'm not sure how the ETF news is going to impact the price of Bitcoin, but I do think we might have a little bit of a sell-off on top of, the news with the banks and their liquidity crisis. And I'll go into that a little bit more later. My boy from Viber Finance has been talking about it a lot. Now, let's just move over to crypto bubbles and see what's crack-a-lacking. Now, looking over at crypto bubbles, Solana has been absolutely ripping it. I remember Adam from Viber Finance. He was telling me, he was like, dude, you gotta look at Solana, man. It was like at like $7 or $8, and now it's at $100. Some people actually thought this project was done for. And look, I get it. VC fund, they do chain rollbacks. It's pretty centralized. But at the end of the day, cryptocurrency is all about speculation, and you're always going to have a certain degree of centralization, and there's always going to be plays. And 99% of people in this game, they're not in it for the technology. They're in it to make money. So, I mean, if it makes money, it makes sense. I'm not a big holder Solana and not whatnot, but within this ecosystem, it's really great to see a lot of altcoins do well, and I have a lot of friends that are doing well. Another one that I've actually been eyeing is Polkadot. I got a good feeling that Polkadot is probably going to do what Solana did, and I have this theory that a lot of VC funds are propping up Polkadot, Solana, and all these second tier layer 1 blockchains so that they can actually buy up a bunch of Ethereum and basically control a majority of the Ethereum on that blockchain in cases of like validator nodes and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So in my opinion, I think Polkadot might go for a run just like Solana, and I think you're going to see a lot of altcoins pop up on Polkadot. That's going to go crazy. Now, another big blockchain doing some absolute runs, Near Protocol. Vitalik said he loves Near. He thinks it's going to be a really good competitor to Ethereum. So a lot of great indicators that this could be a play as well. Now, let's move into the top 200. Now, in the top 200, decentralized social media. I think the owner of this started crying when Richard Heart was trolling him on Twitter or something. I thought it was pretty funny. But regardless, man, this is one actually I got into a while ago. I thought the idea of Facebook on a blockchain fit the DeSo narrative, and this thing's been absolutely ripping as well. And then another big one is Moonbeam. This is a EVM compatible blockchain on the Polkadot relay chain. If you want to bridge from Ethereum to Polkadot, you can actually go through Moonbeam and then straight from Moonbeam to the Polkadot ecosystem. So it's a really, really cool layer 1 blockchain. And it's crazy because this one's actually ripping to the upside as well. So a lot of bullish news. altcoins going bananas, and I'm so excited because we are in the full depth of the bull market, and this is something we've been waiting for a very, very long time. And I know you guys are excited, and I'm excited. Definitely need to do a live stream, talk about more about altcoins, because a lot of the picks I've been putting out have been absolute slam dunks. But this is a titanX live stream, so I don't want to get too much into that right now. Now let's check out the chat and see who we got in here. Gabriel, what's up? Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, my brothers. Good stuff. Goo God, the legendary Goo God, man. This guy's the AI champ. He's a degen. He knows the meme coins. He's in so many ecosystems. Check out his Twitter because he's got absolute awesome alpha. Margaritas and Porcos. I'm sorry if I butchered that. That would be sick, actually. No, I agree, man. If titanX replaces launchpads, you're going to see a lot of this titanX similar projects going on in the future. Shout out to my boy, Ray OX, Shiba Inu Whale. This guy is on it. He's got all the alpha. Ray OX is my boy. He's my buddy. He's my friend. I absolutely love his sort of profile. We talk all the time. Let's go, Chris. All about fair launches. Hope they do replace launchpads one day. titanX gains, baby. Happy Titan Xmas to you all. Oh, I love that, dude. We'll call it Titan Xmas. Let's go. Daxy Boy. I think titanX token factory will be insane. So what Daxy Boy is talking about is the Zen community is creating something called the Zen Factory, where you can basically create a project through burning Zen. And maybe somebody comes along and creates a titanX token factory where you can create a token burning titanX. Actually, I think that's a great idea because small investors and retail can get in as well. So that's a very good point. Chirpsy. God, man. Guys, I am so sorry, dude. My English is terrible. Merry Christmas, Titans. One more stream to consume before a much-needed break. Absolutely, dude. You know, this is going to be a great live stream. Sit back, chill. I know you got some of you guys are hanging out with the family. You know, we'll talk a little bit about titanX. I don't think we're going to have any crazy moves over this weekend, or not much going on next week. I could be wrong. So, but yeah, man. Merry Christmas to you. What's up, Ryan Torres? Good to see you, man. I saw that photo of you benching in the gym, man. So I see you putting in a lot of work. I see you always doing research, man. Good to see you, my man. Goo God. Aliens. Let's freaking go. Shout out to PTGC and then Dragon. Next year's the year of the Dragon. So good stuff. Gabriel, hello. Merry Christmas. Can you please talk more about BXDX and why you are bullish on this project? Okay, I'll take 5 minutes and talk about it. I need to do a live stream. So the reason why I'm so bullish on BXDX is because it's a decentralized exchange on BRC20s. Now, I'm looking at what they're trying to create, and right now, BRC20s are used through a marketplace. You put up the tokens for auction, and then you buy and sell them. It's very similar to what we saw right before the last bull market run, and then DEXs came out, and then that replaced that and removed the need for centralized exchanges. Now, the reason why I like BXDX is they're adding utility to BRC20s. As to how that's going to happen, I'm not really sure, but if they can get a Uniswap type DEX out there before the rest of their competitors, that could be an absolute gem. And the other thing I like about BXDX, they're not only on BRC20s, they're doing DRC20s on the Doge chain. And then I think they're doing LRC20s, which are Litecoin, BRC20 copies on the Litecoin blockchain. So they're going multi-chain, and I think they might try to do some crazy interoperability between all the chains. That's what I'm reading. I'm not sure what will happen. If it comes to fruition, this could be a play. Raylex, titanX would be the biggest green bubble if only CMC and crypto bubbles knew. Laugh out loud. Yeah. So CMC's coin market cap and crypto bubbles is the one I was talking about. So yeah, it'd be great if we can get that up there. How we get there? Titan Joe, good morning, my favorite streamer. Shout out to you, brothers. Always good to have you on the live stream. Damien, what's up, brother? It's always good to see you. Damien in the chat, absolute legend. I love you, Damien. It's good to see you, my man. Big supporter. Same with you, Titan Joe. You're the man as well. Yes, sir, for the degenerates out there. Mackenzie, what's up, Mackenzie? Dude, I love Mackenzie's profile, man. Like, she put out this really great tweet where she's like, listen, I'm a profit maxi. I don't get into communities, whatever. I'm here to make money. So, honestly, Mackenzie, you're basically right on the ball. You know how to play this market really, really great. And I'm a big fan of your profile, and I'm always checking out your tweets. So, keep up the good work. Goo Guy, multi-chain degen. Dude, Goo Guy, you're like the king of the multi-god you're like the king of the degens on multi-chains, man. Like seriously, like this guy's talking about H-bar right now. He's talking about something like it's like an alien Inu thing or something. So smash that like button on the way. Shout out to you, man. Absolutely. And then Rayo X, all about multi-chain. If not everywhere, you're missing it on the games. For real, loving the Xenify cross swap. It's a beast for us on all chains. Absolutely. Gabriel, no problem. And then Branko, only a matter of time. All up. Good stuff. Cool, cool, cool. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna get back in. We'll talk a little bit about all this other stuff, but I need to get into the meat and the cheese. So basically, you know, Merry Christmas, Merry titanX, whatever, and so today I got a whole list of things I talk about in my handy dandy black book, and there's some things that I want to highlight on that I don't see a lot of people talking about. I really want to highlight on these launch pads, talk a little bit about titanX, and then also use this as an AMA. If you got any questions, if there's anything you're confused about that you want to get into about titanX, you want to ask my opinion on something, feel free to drop it down in the chat. I'll check it every 10 to 15 minutes, and we'll keep it going. And this could be a quick live stream, and we just talk about the stuff that needs to be talked about, or we can talk about a lot of questions. You know, I got nothing else going on for the rest of the day. All I do is research crypto and surf, and that's about it, man. So I got a very simple life. Crypto and surf. That is it. Now, let's go over to screen share and just check out the price. Now, if you guys come down here, obviously, if it's on log, it's just going to look like a downward slope. But if you just turn on log and then hit auto, you can actually get a good analysis of the price performance. And now, the reason why I want to talk about this price performance is because we got a lot of people talking trash about titanX, saying that the inflation is going to destroy the project, yada, yada, yada. Overall, dude, we are in a nice uptrend. Since the titanX launch, we are sitting at about a 7x. We got up to, God, man, what was that? We hit a 73x on launch. That is crazy. And now we're sitting down. Now, from the level we're sitting up, if we were to return to all-time high, that's another 7x. So basically, we've just been trading sideways for a very, very long time. Now, the main FUD concern that I want to point out here is people are talking about inflation, 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 inflation. Well, it turns out the buy and burn is handling the inflation. I know guys like to pull up charts and talk about how many tokens are coming out and look at the V2 buy and burn and turn this into a science experiment. But honestly, you can't go too deep into this if you're in so many other project protocols. You need to know just enough to understand what's going on and whether or not people are BSing you. And when I hear this stuff and I look at the titanX price chart, the price chart's performing phenomenal. We got a nice stabilization. It's trending sideways, and I'm seeing the buy and burn contract being filled with Ethereum right now. We just had a historic day, so we're going to get into that a little bit. But overall, I like what the titanX price is doing. I do think it's going to trend a little bit sideways, but when we start to see a massive amount of Ethereum come into that buy and burn contract, I would not be surprised if we start to bounce up to the upside pretty soon. It's probably going to be a little bit more closer here, and then we'll probably just go sideways for a little bit. So overall, really, really bullish news. Now, let's get into some of the statistics. This is something interesting that I was doing a little bit of research on. We look at the statistics. Over 30% of the titanX supply staked. We had 54% burn, and then we had a little bit of a user burn. Someone was messing with the user burn, and then some penalties. Somebody took an L and decided not to claim their titanX. I mean, it happens, and we'll talk about it a little bit more. But please, if you're going to get into titanX, make sure you set yourself a reminder if you're going to get it out. I mean, claim your miner, excuse me. Now, if we come over here to the liquid titanX, it's saying 7.22%. It's staying under that 10% level, and it's showing that because it's staying under that 10% level, the inflation issue is not a problem as of this recording. Now, something I want to highlight, and this has to do with Jake and Crypto Kindness livestream. Shout out to Crypto Kindness. If you come over here to the contract and you come to this top wallet address, it has a 44% ownership of titanX. And essentially, this wallet address, from my understanding, is the Genesis wallet address that's talked about in the white paper. And so one thing that I came across was a piece of information that every titanX miner that's claimed, I believe 6% of it goes straight to the Genesis wallet address. This Genesis wallet address is going to be the main thing to set up Hyper going on to the future. Now, if we do some math and we just assume like the Genesis wallet address isn't going to sell any titanX tokens, just like we hear about the Hex OA address, that means 44% of the tokens don't necessarily apply into this liquid, which means actually the amount of tradable tokens out there that people are buying and selling right now is half of this. And it's probably going to be a little bit closer to 3 to 4%, or maybe it's that 3.69% number that I absolutely love. So overall, it's extremely bullish, and this liquid supply is going to be a lot less. And I'm pretty sure this doesn't include the Genesis address. Well, actually, I'm going to double check that, but I'm pretty sure that the actual liquid titanX supply out there is going to be a lot less. Now, moving on, we got some big news. We have total of miners started by day. This is something interesting, and also shout out to Mike Dean. If you guys get a chance, please go follow Mike Dean on x.com. Now, if you take a look at the amount of miners that are being, if you check out the amount of miners that are being mined by day, last time we talked, I believe this number was somewhere right around 100,000. Now it's at 194,000. This thing's going crazy. I guarantee you by the end of next month, this could very well be anywhere between 500,000 and a million. And as the increase of miners goes up, we're going to see more adoption, which means there's a good chance that we could see an exponential rise in the price of titanX. And this gets a lot into Hart's Law and Hex adoption and Pulsechain adoption. I'll let you guys check that out. I'm not going to go too much into it. Now, the other thing I also want to point out that's really, really, really cool. Oh, wow, that is way too close, man. Look at the amount of ETH that was used to start a miner back on day, I believe it was 56. It was over 3,435. That's 200 ETH less than day 2. That is absolutely crazy, and that also supersedes the amount of ETH to create titanX miners on day 1. Now, why is this important? If you were to create a miner on day 1 and day 2, your titanX payout up until day 280 would have been a lot higher than it would have been on this day, day 56. So that means more people are getting in. There's a lot of hype behind titanX, and we're starting to see the rise of Ethereum going into this DApp. And the one thing I always talk about in titanX is I'm not necessarily concerned about the price. Obviously, you know, you want the price to stabilize, but the big thing I'm always looking at is how much ETH is going into this contract address that's being used for the buy and burn, because the overall price performance going on to the future is going to be determined by how much ETH is coming in. Now, if we come over here to the buy and burn contract, let's just take a look at that. As of right now, V2, this is the fast release. We have over 10,000 ETH, which is about 21 million. So some people think ETH is going to 6x from here. So that's going to be worth, gosh, man, that could be very well worth right above 100 million at the top of the bull market. And then we have the V1 slow release still sitting at 4,458 ETH. From my understanding on the last live stream, there is going to be possibly a merge of both of these going on to the future, but I'm not really sure when that's going to happen. And right now that's speculation, but I think Jake talked about it. But overall, we're sticking right around that 10,000 ETH mark, which means there's going to be plenty of buying and burning going on to the future, and there's going to be an added stability to the entire ecosystem, which is absolutely freaking awesome. Now, also payouts. Let's talk a little bit about payouts. So this is my wallet that I help people, and I just show them what's going on. And I did a nice little demonstration of how much titanX I can stake out. And I actually staked out a little bit. And on this wallet, I think I got like $150. This isn't even my main wallet. But it was absolutely crazy because we actually had the first double payout on the 8th day and also on the 28th day. And I believe that was going to be on day 56. And so if we go back here to day 56, we saw a bunch of new miners created. So what I think happened with these ETH payouts was that a bunch of people came in here, claimed their 28, claimed their 8 day, and they're coming back in here and they're recycling it into the protocol, taking that ETH from staking, putting it back into the ecosystem. The reason why this is extremely powerful is because it's actually increasing the buy and burn, it's increasing adoption, it's helped stabilizing the ecosystem. So my future prediction that's probably going to happen is just keep your eye on these next day cycle payout days. So the next big one, so of course we're gonna have like the 64 day, and then probably after that it's gonna be like a 72 day. But when we get closer to this 84 and 90 day, I guarantee you a lot of people are going to come into the 28-day payout on day 84 and also on day 90, and they're going to take their ETH and they're going to do the same exact process. Rinse and repeat. Build up your position on titanX, because one day we are going to get a point where titanX goes from hyper inflationary to hyper deflationary. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in the strategy. We'll call it the Khaos Kris titanX strategy, which I think you guys are going to really, really like. So that was for the first bit. I probably talked a lot. Let's see if we got any questions and see what's going on. Ooh, wow, we actually got a lot. All right. Gabriel, have you heard about Bell? It's Billy Marcus coin that he created before Doge took off and has been left dead since 2013 until now. It's being revived by Doge and Ornal's community. Okay. I'm gonna write that down, Gabriel. I don't know anything about it. I think I saw something, but let me do some research, because I haven't heard about that. So thanks for the info. Landscraper, what's up, brother? It's good to see you, man. Rayo X, he's probably talking about Saucinu. Yeah, Rayo X already talked about it. Yeah, that's the thing that Gugod loves is Saucinu. Gugod, yeah. Saucinu and HBAR has been absolute sending. Cool. Gugod, titanX is truly a blessing. I was able to diversify my portfolio further and buy some Xmas gifts this year. Let's freaking go, dude. Congratulations, man. And shout out to your family, man. I know you talk about them a lot, and I'm glad that you're balling out for them. Daxi, something really interesting is you still can receive T-rank bonuses on miners for a 7-day grace period. So if you claim right before the 7 days in, you can get a little extra titanX. Yeah, I did see that. And, you know, it reminds me of that concept with the T-share grace period, because it's the same application when you have a certain amount of period to claim your hex. And so, I mean, if you guys want to play that game and, you know, maybe wait a couple days and continue to build yield going off that 7 days, completely fine. But just make sure if you do that, you claim it right before your miner gets nuked, because honestly, the worst thing is you forget about it, something happens, you know, life happens, family problems, gotta go to the hospital, yada, 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 and you can't claim that, because right now that could be the difference of, you know, a couple $1,000s depending on how high your miner is. So I do like that, but I do stress when you play degen games, you know, you want to de-risk yourself, and I'm not going to say no, don't do it, but make sure if you're going to play that game, be extremely careful. Okay, Liquid titanX excludes Genesis. You can hover to see this info. Oh, okay. All right, never mind. All right, guys, I absolutely lied. My apology. I thought I was told something different, so I'll show you guys what it says. Do a quick screen share. So, hover over Liquid. Total number of Liquid titanX in existence excludes Genesis, which will never hit market or stake. All right, never mind. Sorry, guys. I was absolutely wrong. So it's actually 7.2% of the supply. My bad. I completely messed that up. So I want to thank Cassia for calling that out. Ramen, I did some intrusive analysis today on the next 15 days price performance. My spreadsheet data analysis resulted in an average of, I believe that was 5 zeros 4.8 to 5 zeros and 5. That's based on daily supply from mining, buy and burn, staking, and market buy. That's really interesting, man. I think you should post that on Twitter and let us and show us what your analysis was. That's actually really interesting. So 5 zeros and a 4.8. So let's take a look at that. So if it's 5 zeros and a 4.8, am I looking this right? Hold on. Let me see this real quick. Yeah, so I'm saying it 5 zeros and a 4.8. So I guess what you're trying to say is the price is going to stay stable over the next 7 days. I mean, if that's the case, that's good, because people are going to continue to receive these titanX miners in the future. So yeah, no, that's really good news, and I think you should post it. V1 V2 merge, absolutely, all the way in you. When hyper. That's a great question, man. You should spam Jake's Twitter and ask him. I have no idea. I I think in his live stream with Crypto Kindness, he was talking about it's probably, I think it was like 40 in like 40 days or something. So I think it's towards the end of January or early February, if I recall. All the way in you, love me some titanX. I'm gonna start some 6 months miners tonight. Yeah, absolutely. All the way in you. Definitely stay to the end because I'm gonna talk about a mining strategy that you can use. So all really, really great points. Now, let's get into the next phase of what I wanted to talk about on this live stream. So, cool. Now, I want to get into a little bit more about talking about launch pads. Now, if I do a quick screen share right here, as most of you guys know, the heart and the soul of titanX, number one is going to be that buy and burn and the staking payout. These components are going to what is basically going to add the pump and middles behind the project. Now, in my opinion, outside the heart and soul, the main utility that's going to bring in adoption and really, really get people excited for this is 7% of ETH goes to the burn pool used to pay out titanX burners based on how much they burned in the last 28-day period. Now, if I come over here, I believe there's a burn pool right here. And over here, basically, if you come in, you're a project developer, and you basically burn, you basically get to earn fees based off of how many tokens you burn. So it's actually a really creative way to build on top of titanX to add utility to cryptocurrency and also, bring another adoption use to titanX. Now, one thing I want to talk about is launch pads. As most of you guys know, you probably, if you've been in this space, you probably have dealt with launch pads in the past. And basically what a launch pad is, it's a project where you go, you buy the token, you stake it into their staking. Excuse me, guys. Sorry, let me get some water. I've been talking a little too much. So basically what a launch pad is it's basically you take a token, stake it into their protocol, and then you earn a tier based on how many tokens you stake. Then there's an ICO where you can go in, take a certain amount of money. Usually it's in like a stable coin like USDC, and then you purchase the token. A great example of a launchpad is VSPad. If you guys don't know what VSPad is, it's for the Volas blockchain. Some people don't know too much about the Volas blockchain. It's basically a Swiss blockchain. It's a fork of Solana. Could be a play in this bull market, but I don't really get too much into it. But the main thing I want to show you guys is if you come down here and you look at this, you have staking tiers. So you have Taurus, Orion, Vala, and Valeria. And so basically if you stake 20,000, you get the lowest tier. And then if you stake 200,000, you get the highest tier. And based off of that, you basically get a guaranteed allocation. Highest tiers get private allocations. And you have this something called a pull weight, which is basically, it's based on how many people jump in. You basically get to buy a certain portion of the amount of tokens that are going to be used for like the pre-sale, the ICO, the ISO, yada, yada, yada. Now, if I come over here to the VSPad, I'm going to tell you the biggest problem with this approach. Now, I type in VSPad. Now, the first problem with this approach is with that amount of tokens, it's probably not a lot right now because it's 0.009. And so if I put in like 100,000 tokens, that's only like $1,000. So you're probably like, all right, Kris, that's not a big deal. But at the height of this thing was going for a buck, $1. Even when it's going towards the downside, it was 50 cents. So to get into some of these tiers, you would probably have to put up anywhere more than like $10,000, $50,000. Even at one point, it was actually $200,000. And so if you're a small retail traders, this is not going to be sustainable because I guarantee you there's going to be more launch pads like this. And I don't think the price of this token is going to stay down here forever. I mean, if you even look at the price of this token, and I'm not shilling VSPad, but if I go out a little bit, you can kind of see the project starting to bottom out right here. And people are buying in because they're getting in for the anticipation for the launch of projects. Now, the other thing that's also a big downside of a lot of these projects is something called token dilution. And I'm going to talk about how this applies to this example project I just popped up on the screen. But what a lot of project developers will do is they'll set aside 25 or 50% of their tokens to the side and say, this is our treasury wallet. And as they continue to develop, what they'll slowly do is dump out some of those tokens onto the market. And then the token actually suffers from something called token dilution. Now, a great example of this happening is with a project that, believe it or not, I'm actually in right now. It's actually a game on Binance Smart Chain. It's a really great project, but I will point out one of the biggest downside. It's the full diluted valuation. Now, if we kind of just look out here, the project launched and then it started coming down. Now, if you do the research on Creo Engine, the one thing that you'll see is a lot of those tokens are locked up, and over time, the project developers are going to do periodic dumps into the market, and this full dilution value is going to go down, and more of these tokens are in circulation. Now, as of right now, the amount of tokens in circulation is 290 million, but the total supply is 988 million, and that means a majority of those tokens are locked up into some sort of treasury wallet that the team is using to fund the projects. Now, why do I talk about these two specific projects? And by the way, I'm not fudding Creo. I'm actually, full disclosure, I'm in the project, and I think it's a great play. But the reason why I'm talking about this is because the biggest problem with cryptocurrency is we always got the little guy being dumped on. And when I first researched titanX, the one thing that really popped out to me wasn't necessarily the buy and burn, but it was the fact that Jake was creating this launch pad where projects can come in, burn the titanX token, earn some of the fees from that burn, and build a really great project so that they're incentivized to build a phenomenal project. They don't have to do any sort of token dilution. They can do a fair launch where projects can just launch their token out there and the developers can still get paid. I'm not knocking Creo for, having a certain amount of tokens that they need to dump onto the market to pay their team. Every single project does this. Solana does it. Arbitrum does it. Optimism does it. There's a whole plethora of projects that do this, and I get it. There's very few projects that don't do that, and that's going to be Hex, PulseX, Pulsechain, Atropa, all those projects. Yeah, so I'm going to leave it at that. But a majority of these projects use this as a way to keep funding their project. Now, the reason why I like titanX and it comes into this launchpad is this is going to be a new approach, because if titanX creates a really great token that a lot of people basically want to own and sustains a really great value and has a large amount of adoption, this token can be used to launch new projects in the future. This could be decentralized exchanges. This could be metaverse projects. This could even be meme coin projects. And I know Jake doesn't like meme coin projects, but me, Vibra, RayOX, and GooGod, we're all about the meme coins because we're degenerates. But I'm telling you, there's so many things that could happen. And so in my opinion, what we're probably going to see up until the launch of Hyper is more projects come on and build a launch pad. Now, when will we start to see these projects? That's the biggest question that I think most of you guys have. And that's going to get into something where I call the inflationary deflationary hyper point. And basically this hyper point is when we start to see titanX go from inflationary to hyper deflationary. So I'm going to draw you guys a really, really cool picture, because I'm going to be an artist one day, and I'm going to retire from cryptocurrency and try to sell NFTs for $1 bazillion. Now, if I draw out this scale right here, all the way across, this red line is basically going to be essentially the titanX inflation. And then this drop off is when we start to see titanX go deflationary. So it's going to be shaped like this bell curve coming across. And another line I'm going to go ahead and draw is the value of this buy and burn. So the buy and burn is probably going to slowly, it's going to be like a little bit of a straight line. And then as more people start to jump in, it's going to shoot up like this. So I'm going to do a double axis since, I am an engineer. So for this one, this is going on this axis, this is going to be the amount of ETH. So right here, this is going to be the amount of ETH in the buy and burn. And then this is on this side is going to be the titanX token supply. Token. All right, I'm just going to leave it at that. All right. All right, this is supposed to say titanX token supply. I did a terrible job writing that out. Now, what we're looking at is this pivotal point that's going to be right here, where we start to see titanX go absolutely deflationary very, very quickly. And it's not going to be like a straight line going down. It's going to be this exponential curve going down. And then on top of that, we're going to start to see the ETH buy and burn contract go absolutely nuclear and go up. It's going to start off gradually and go up. Now, at this pivotal point in time, this is when we're going to start to see more projects come in and start essentially launching on top of the titanX protocol, because the price of titanX is going to go absolutely ballistic when it goes hyper deflationary. That's how it was designed. Jake talks about it all the time. Now, the real question, and I'm sure you guys can go check out all the other live streamers, shout out to Crypto Kindness and was it Smoothing Crypto, and Mike Dean, all these guys. They do a really great analysis. And look, I'm not really that smart. I'm kind of stupid, but I'm stupid enough to figure things out. And what I'm starting to see based on the blockchain analytics is that when this point happens, it's going to be somewhere between day, I would probably say 333 up until I would say day 380. Now, there's a lot of variables that could come in and affect this time scale, but I firmly believe that once we start to hit this day and we start to see the amount of titanX inflation go down, we're going to start to see it go hyper deflationary and result in a nice little price pump to the upside. That's going to be absolutely nuclear, and that's what I'm thinking. So right around day 333 to 380 is when we are going to start to see more projects launch on top of this, because in order for to have a very large adoption, the one big thing that they're going to care about the most is the overall titanX price, get a lot of hype behind this protocol. And in my opinion, this is where we're going to see the most of it. Up until that day, we have the hyper launch. I know there's 4 or 5 projects that are going to be building on top of titanX, and this could lower this time period maybe closer to day 300. I could definitely see that happening, but as of right now, this is the time frame I'm thinking about. And this is where we can get into my titanX strategy that I'll tell you guys that I'm actually doing, but we'll jump in that into the next segment. So we'll see if we have any comments, questions, or if I'm getting roasted for something I said. But at the moment, very risky. Ray OX, I think Pyro will be the first protocol built on titanX, probably released before Hyper. AMA on the 29th. Spaces could potentially be a play if you're bullish on the titanX ecosystem. So the one thing I'll say about the Pyro protocol, so I did see that on Twitter. I know Crypto Kindness is trying to talk to him, or he wants to see a white paper. The big thing I want to see with that project protocol, and this goes into project launch standards, that this is also another thing I really, really want to talk to you guys about. When it comes to new projects launching on this, big thing that we want to see 2 to 3 audits. We also want to see a fair launch, and then Jake talks a lot about not being anon. I know Pyro Protocol wants to remain anon. I get it. I understand. It is what it is. So as of right now, I don't want to jump into this project protocol because I'm not sure what it is. And the biggest thing I want to see is an audit before it launches. When titanX launched, I saw an audit, and that's part of the reason why I got into. And I think when it comes to a lot of these project protocols, if they provide a few audits, probably 1 to 2, that's going to be great. Typically with meme coins, 1 audit will get the job done. If it's a more advanced project protocol, 2 to 3 is probably the range that you're probably looking for. And I'm not saying every project that's going to launch to titanX is a scam. I'm not saying this particular project is a scam, but we got to start looking at project protocols and being extremely careful, because in the future, when titanX goes absolutely nuclear, there's going to come bad actors that are going to come into this space, really try to jump on top of the community and try to find ways to exploit and basically take advantage. And so by setting this set of standards and understanding that, hey, these are the projects I'm going to go into, as long as they got like an audit and hit all the check marks that I just talked about, then I would be very confident covering on live stream. But until then, that's the stuff that I want to see. I'm excited that more people are coming on, and I'm probably not going to jump too much into it until I get more information on it, because I don't want to be talking about something unless I'm a complete expert in. So definitely really, really good stuff. Mark, how's it going to go hyper deflationary? People are going to burn their titanX for hyper, then what? So basically, the reason why it's going to go hyper deflationary is because you're basically getting a bunch of miners. So the cost of the miners goes up. The amount of miners that the amount of titanX produced by miners, they go down. And so when this happens, you have more, the expense of titanX goes up, and you're basically buying less titanX through the miner. And so when this happens, the buy and burn contract address will increase in value over time. And as more and more titanX is minted out into the future, it's going to be slowly bought and burned up. And so if I come over here to the supply curve, and I got the white paper right here. Let's see. Where are you? Wait, here. Let me pull up. Yeah, here we go. So if I come over here to the white paper, the big thing you guys want to look at is the ETH cost per titanX miner. It's going to go up until day 2000. So in order to get more titanX, you have to pay a little bit more in the titanX miner. So miners can become more expensive. On top of that, less titanX is being minted every single miner. It goes down exponentially. So when you look at these curves, it's an exponential curve going up for the amount of ETH being used, and it's exponential curve going down. If it costs more ETH to create a miner, you're probably going to have to put in a little bit more to go in. You know, smaller traders probably won't jump in if it's just like $100, $200. And you're also getting less titanX. So that's the reason why it's going to go from hyperinflationary to hyper deflationary very, very quickly. The real question is, when is it going to happen? So awesome. Now let's go take a look. Just seen today, Power Token titanX snapshot. They're having a mining bridge and buy and burn. Interesting. Okay, I'll check it out. Really good stuff. Mark, that makes really sense. I really appreciate your explanation. Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate you, man. Shout to Titan Joe. Damien, want to have a balance of being welcoming for new projects and developers. And Zen, for example, a certain set of folks were the first principles of crypto maxis criticizing projects. Yeah. Damien brings up a great point. The one thing I also want to say is, you know, be very careful if you're going to go after projects, because if it's a clear scam and you think it's a bad actor and it's pretty clearly evident, do your thing. But if it's a project development team that's actually trying to create something and you're just going at them because you like one other project or you're jealous, then please do not do that. That is one of the biggest things that really discouraged me with the Pulsechain community, is because I saw so many hex maxis go after projects launching on Pulsechain. There were so many great projects, and they were absolutely saying the worst things ever. And I talked to developers. They were under stress, and it was one of the worst feelings ever to see these people struggle. So, you know, you should always support these project developers, but please be very wary scammers. So it's always going to be this balance, and I think everyone in titanX is extremely smart, and I also think that you guys have really great judgment skills, and I think that through those smarts and those great judgment skills, you guys will be a really great voice to the community. So really good stuff. With the whole audit and on aspect, but audit at minimum should be a standard. Yeah, I definitely do agree. I do think that, you know, when Jake really explained that there should be 2 to 3 audits to make sure that there aren't any bugs, it didn't really click so well. But then I saw other projects where they had some sort of exploit. They only did 1 audit, and it all makes sense. So in my opinion, I do think 2 to 3 audits would definitely be the standard. And I'll be very wary if someone were to launch a project on top of titanX and they don't at least have an audit or some sort of like KYC. I understand, you know, some of these KYC companies are terrible. So I do think that having multiple auditors looking at project protocol could increase the confidence within the community. And that's just my opinion. So cool. All right. Now let's talk a little bit about titanX mining strategies. Now we're going to do the Khaos Kris mining strategy. All these guys have some really great analysis. I like to keep things simple. Like I said, I'm not really that smart, but I know enough to figure out titanX, which is awesome. Now, one of the first things that I did actually when I first got into titanX was actually funny story. When I first got into titanX, it was an hour after the project launch. And I actually went in and I was going to do a 280-day miner, a 180-day miner, a 90-day miner, and then a 30-day miner. So my goal was to do 4 miners. And it was 4 a.m. We had the biggest swell out where I'm living. And so I get up, I do the mine, and basically I created 4 miners 280 days out. so it was a pretty crazy mistake. At the time, I was freaking out a little bit because I had this huge strategy in my mind that I was going to take advantage of, but it was also a really great mistake, and I don't regret it. After that, I started looking at short-term miners. Now, one thing that I was noticing is, we're going to have some price fluctuations with titanX. It's going to go up and it's going to go down. And so if I come over here and we take a look at the price chart, we saw like a 300x rise up here. A 3x rise, and then we hit a 5x rise here. And then we also saw the price of titanX hit a 71% dip. So some things that I like to do when it comes to putting miners out into the future, the first thing I want to see when I do a short-term miner is I want to try to at least get a 500% ROI. And so the first one that I did, believe it or not, I did a max miner power. I did 1 miner. I did it for 333 days. When I did this a couple weeks ago, actually I think it was like a month ago, it was actually 500%. To do that same miner now, it's only 129%. You can see the effect of the increase in the amount of miners you have, the titanX miner increase, and also the amount of titanX being produced over time. It's having a huge impact on the overall miner output. So the one thing I would suggest to do is, depending on the amount, you want to shoot for a 500% ROI because there's a good chance it could go down or it could go up. So as of right now, I think the best play to do would probably do somewhere, I think it was like 60 days. Oh, actually, it's a little bit longer. What about 70 days? Wow. Actually, I was looking at, I did one a couple days ago. I did 60 days and it was sitting at about 500%. Okay, so probably the best short-term miner is probably do 100 days so you can get a 500%. The next best available one that I would probably shoot for, if you want to be more on the riskier side, it's probably going to be right around 250%. So a 2.5x from your miner position. I would be extremely cautious if you're going to be doing anything like right around just 100% ROI. Because as of right now, if you were to do a 7-day ROI on a miner, you basically will lose 49% of your value. And then 14 days, yeah, so right around 14, 15 days, you basically break even. So yeah, 14 days. So anything less than 14 days, you definitely don't want to do. I would highly suggest, not financial advice, but I would highly suggest looking at about 50 days because you're going to get a nice ROI on that miner and you don't have to really eat it too much. The biggest problem with doing a 33 days, if the price dips down, you might lose out a little bit and it might not be profitable because overall, we're starting to see that titanX payout go down, 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 down. And it's basically making it so that it's more profitable to do long-term miners going on to the future. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a series of these short-term miners. And so I'm probably going to do one tonight at like 100. And what I'm doing is I'm taking my ROI, I'm taking half of whatever the miner value is at the time of the mint. And I'm basically taking half of that, I'm putting it back in to get that 500% ROI. I'm also going to do something a little bit more short-term, right around 50 days. I'm going to use that same process. And so the goal is to take your titanX and continue to recycle 50% profit, 50% back into a miner. I understand that staking, a lot of people like the staking payout. You put your titanX in there and you stake it out to the future. As of right now, we're having a little bit of an inflationary period. So after looking at the numbers and just determining what's the best approach, I think you're going to make more money doing the miner approach than doing the staking. Staking is a really a great long-term play. If you want to take about 25% of your miner payout from that profit strategy, you can put it back into staking. So actually, let me just draw this out because make it a little bit less confusing. So the Kris Ford strategy, The Khaos Kris strategy is going to be, I'm going to do this low into a circle. So you're going to sell 50% of your titanX and put it back into a miner. So 50% will be recycled back into a miner. And we are going to put this miner out for about 50 to, I would say, about 100 days. The goal is to get somewhere between a 250 to 500% ROI. That is our main goal when it comes to doing the short-term strategy. Right here, ROI. The next goal is essentially, well, what I'm doing right now is I'm actually doing a 50% in just straight ETH and just taking a massive profit. I'm going to tell you why I'm doing that, because there's going to be a really great juicy opportunity on titanX that not a lot of people are talking about. So I'm keeping it 50% in ETH right here and just building that ETH bag, because overall I think ETH is going to be a play in this market and it's going to appreciate in value as titanX goes up. Now, with strategy 1, why am I taking such a massive profit on ETH? We'll do strategy 1 right here. Now, if I go back to the chart right here and we look at this payout and we scroll all the way down, right here on the August 3rd and August 4th and then maybe August 5th, we got a lot of titanX coming out. And I guarantee you Hyper is going to be out by then. Oh gosh, why am I doing that? So essentially, basically, we're going to have a massive market. Basically, there's a good chance that a lot of titanX is going to hit the market. With Hyper, I don't think it's going to have a massive price crash that everyone's freaking out about, but there could be a dip. And the reason why I'm using this strategy is because what I want to do is build up my ETH bag. And when this happens, I want to do a dollar cost average into titanX, because when we hit this massive market dump on these 3 days, after that we're going to start hitting that inflationary to deflationary point. And when it goes from hyper deflationary, the price is going to appreciate extremely high. And so by having a big ETH bag ready to buy that dip, you're going to increase your position. You're going to see less titanX being minted out into the future once we hit this past this 3-day period. And if you build your position, this is when we'll probably see a massive price appreciation in the token, not financial advice. And so that's part of the reason why I'm doing this strategy, because I'm using my short-term miners to not only build my titanX position in the future, but I'm also using it to basically increase my ETH position so that I can buy that titanX dip. Because in my opinion, you're not going to see that much titanX ever hit the market going on to the future unless everyone in the Ethereum blockchain decides to hit the titanX miner on one single day. But overall, you're probably not going to see this happen again, or maybe if it launches on Pulsechain or X1 or some other blockchain. So that's option number 1. Now, option number 2, you can basically come in here, and if you guys want to build up your staking position, I know Crypto Kindness is doing this, so I'll kind of just take it from him. Oh, what did I do? Come on, let's get out of here. So option number 2, let's just erase all this. Now, option number 2 for a short-term profit strategy, you can come in here and cut across right here and do 25% in ETH. You always want to take profit. Please take profits. When you take profits and you get your initial out, you win. And the other 25%, staked titanX. So basically, you only sell about 75% of your reward. Now, with this strategy, you'll still build your ETH payout. I mean, you'll still build your ETH position, but then you're also going to build your stake position. In my opinion, we're going to see more titanX hit the market, and I also believe that there might be some dilution in stake titanX that's going to hit really hard on this day. But for the short term, for the 56, the 90-day payout, there's going to be a great opportunity to earn a bunch of ETH in the short term somewhere in between this area. So you could do that. But in my opinion, I think the best opportunity is going to be holding a big bag of Ethereum on the side right here, ready to go. And then also, Another thing I'm doing, because I'm pretty excited about this event, I think it's going to be a great opportunity. I'm actually going on Coinbase right now, and I'm doing, I think, about $30 a day into Ethereum up until that day 280. And I'm also building my bag from funds in my bank account because, right now it's probably not the best idea to have a massive amount of cash in the bank. And I'm not going to get into how much I have, but the main thing is I'm adding a small amount of ETH every day to my Coinbase account. I'm sending it over to my private wallet address, and then I'm going to use that to also build my Ethereum position so that I can slowly dollar cost average into titanX when we see this big supply release on that date. I don't know how much titanX is going to dip, and I don't think it's going to dip like 99% like all these fudsters are saying. There might be a little bit of dip, and I'm just shooting straight from a hit. I'm keeping it real with you guys. And if this happens, there's going to be a great opportunity. On the worst side, if this dip doesn't happen or nothing happens to the price, well, guess what? You got a big old bag of ETH. ETH's going to do great into the future. You're still going to win. So there's multiple ways of doing this, but right now, my main focus is on this day 280, taking advantage of the situation and absolutely building up my position. So that is the Khaos Kris titanX short-term strategy. And also the other thing I want to point out, longer pays better. It's okay to do short-term miners if that's something you're interested in, but I get a lot of people come in and say, Chris, what do I do? Do I buy titanX? Do I stake it? Do I get the miner? The best approach to get into titanX, in my opinion, is to start a long-term miner and just let it go out into the future. Right now, you still have time to start a long-term miner. In my opinion, the top of the Bitcoin price is going to be right around April 2025. For Ethereum, it's probably going to be May, June of 2025. And then titanX, Pulsechain, and Hex, it's probably going to be sometime, the top of that project is going to be sometime over the summer. So I would say June, July timeframe. So when it comes to getting into titanX, as long as your 280-day miner ends before the summer of 2025 or the spring of 2025, you still have a really great opportunity. If you start it right now, you're basically going into a little bit closer to the end of 2024. So please, long-term miners are going to be the best ways to win, and then the short-term miners just extra when you get into these strategies. I can't emphasize this enough. So awesome stuff. Let's see if we got any questions. Oh, whoa, we got a lot in the chat. Let's see what's up. Whoa, the mining stats changed drastically. A few days ago, 33 days was giving you about 200% ROI on paper. Yeah, I agree. I still think that you should shoot for a 250% to 500% ROI on the short-term miners. That's probably going to go down a little bit over time, but that way you can ensure that you're not going to be in the negative when you basically sell out your titanX into Ethereum, or you can just hold titanX liquid at that point. Also, the price of titanX, you keep saying it's going to go up, but it keeps dipping. So the price of titanX, you keep saying it's going to go up, but it keeps dipping. Well, let's take a look at that real quick. I mean, the price is actually doing not bad, dude. It's trading sideways. I don't understand. I don't understand your question. So, okay. Well, just keep it moving then. RayOX, great strategy, Chris. All about ROI as soon as possible. Good stuff. Landscraper, why pocket the ETH now? You could recycle one more time before deflation. That's very true. I mean, if you want to do that, you can. But Landscraper, the big thing I want to get across is you want to build a sustainable ETH position. This can also be used as a profit strategy. And I get, really getting into titanX and really taking advantage of it. And I think it's a great protocol. I think it's going to do well. But also keep in mind that you definitely want to make sure you have some profits on the side. And when you get closer to that dip event, when titanX being inflated out into the market, I don't suggest unloading all of it straight into titanX. Keep a little bit in Ethereum on the side. So, I mean, if you want to go and take all that Ethereum and keep recycling it and just build a massive titanX miner and go out into the future, hey man, more power to you. Don't let me stop you. But this is my strategy. And at the end of the day, if you can get your initial out when you start doing these running miners going on in the future, you win at the end of the day. Crypto down under. The time to buy will probably be a few days prior. True. Landscraper are 2 times. Absolutely. Bets in crypto. Bang bang. Sam. Sam, why is the V1 not being used yet? Is that for Jake's built-in exit liquidity? That's a funny question. I know what you're doing. You're fighting. So the V1 is going to be used in cases when basically the main point of V1 is going to be used as a safety threshold for the project protocol. Right now, with the buy and burn being implemented and being running out into the future, things are being tested and things are being critiqued. And sooner or later in the future, I believe the buy and burn contract is going to be fully renounced and the project protocol is going to allow it to go on its own into the future. Damon, so buying this dip on day 28, don't you think it would be better to use the same ETH to mint a ton of max titanX on day 279? So on day 279, if you're going to mint titanX, are you saying you're going to mint it? Like, how far out are you going to mint Titan? Wait, hold on. Let me see that. Don't you think it would be better to use the same ETH to mint a ton of max titanX on day 279? So, Damien, my question to you is, if we're going to mint a bunch of titanX on day 279, are you saying in the miner on day 279, then sell it and then build your ETH position? Is that what you're thinking? RayOX, I've seen miners being created for 5 to 7 days. They're losing on their initial principle. Crazy stuff. Yeah, dude, I can't emphasize this enough. If you guys see people doing those short-term miners, tell them to not do it because it's not gonna be a really great approach. And the big thing I want to say is if you're gonna do the short-term miner strategy, make sure they get a nice ROI, and always recommend longer is always going to be better. Keep in mind, I'm a degenerate. I like to play this like short-term game. I also like to take profit, and I know you guys are just like me when it comes to this stuff, and I get it. If you guys want to do like a continuous like titanX recycle miner going up until that day to build a massive position, more power to you. But in my personal opinion, I'll feel much better if I build an ETH bag on the side and then use it. So that's just my approach and how I see these things going on into the future. So cool. Let's see what else. Now, okay. So let's talk about different types of titanX projects that could potentially. Let's talk about different projects that could potentially launch on top of titanX. Now, obviously, we're getting all excited. We have this new platform that's going to be launching lots and lots of projects. Now, the types of projects that we're probably going to see in the future, I'm going to put them into tier 1 through 3. So if I do a black pin, this is going to be tier 1. Then we'll have tier 2. And then we'll have tier 3. So some projects that I'm expecting to see being launched in type of titanX, and also keep in mind Hyper, when it's being built, it's also going to be have a very similar launchpad utility to titanX. So the bottom projects that you're probably going to see, they're going to be meme coins. And I'm not saying I don't hate meme coins, but chances are, I guarantee you, there's probably going to be some sort of meme coin where they say there's a million meme coins that are being minted, and you can mint one titanX for one meme coin. Is going to be like Titan, like Titan Inu or something. Watch someone actually make a token called Titan Inu. That would be so funny. Titan Inu. So the tier 3 is just going to be a simple burn titanX for a meme coin, and that's about it. And typically this is probably going to have 1 audit, but hopefully they'll do 3. Now tier 2. This is where things are going to get interesting. So we're probably going to see something that is basically going to be a store of value project. And so when I say store of value, this is going to be like projects where that would be very similar to Hyper. And I think Hyper is going to be tier 1. But I'm saying like store of value projects like Hex or something with some sort of staking mechanics that where you burn your titanX for that said token and basically store it and appreciates in value over time. Those tier 2 projects are going to be store value. And what I think is probably going to happen with these types of projects is there's going to be revolving burning in the titanX ecosystem so that they can continue to accumulate more from those burn fee wallet address and just earn more value from the burn wallet address. Excuse me. And then tier 1. This is where we're going to have the elite tier projects, in my opinion. These are going to be your dexes. You're going to have games. And then you're probably going to have, what was the other thing I wrote down? Dex's game, and then maybe some sort of like bridge for titanX where they're trying to put titanX on different protocols. Now, in my opinion, I'm going to be really excited for these types of projects. And I guarantee you there's going to be some awesome developers that are going to come out. There's going to be a DEX that's going to make exclusive swapping for titanX or something. I guarantee you there's going to be some cool game where they might use titanX as like an in-game currency or build something on top of it. And then there's going to be protocols where they're going to try to bridge out titanX to other blockchains so that other people have the opportunity to buy titanX on maybe like Phantom, Pulsechain, or yada yada. Now, in my opinion, store value, there's always going to be some value behind this, staking mechanics, and then meme coins. And don't get me wrong, I think meme coins are going to be great. And when the first meme coin launches on top of titanX, I guarantee you the token supply is going to be really, really small. And there could be potential that it would absolutely run. So I'm not really sure, but ultimately meme coins get people excited and they bring in adoption really, really well. But overall, going on to the future, I'm really excited to cover these types of projects. There's going to be a need for like meme coins and store values, but in my opinion, the DEX, the games, and the bridge types protocols, those are going to be the ones that add the true value to really bring in adoption and make titanX the real serious contender within the DeFi ecosystem. So that was my last bit. Let's see if you got any more questions. So let's see what we got here. Mercus, Feliz Navidad. Yeah, man, Merry Christmas to you, dude. Feliz Navidad. I actually said that right for once. RayOX, is there anything else launching on titanX other than Pyro? Jake told me that there's 4 projects that are thinking about launching on top of titanX, so we'll probably see more project protocols. But like I said, I'm gonna be cautious because I want to see the audit first and then see the white paper and then get into it. But I'm going to approach everything with a fair and open mind when it comes to new developing projects. Damien, regarding the 279 comment, I meant as in instead of banking on a dip on day 280 to deploy your saved ETH to buy Titan, why not just do multiple max time, power, and number of miners? Okay, so you're saying mint out titanX into the future and past it because of the price recovery. That's a really good point. In my mind, I want to buy the dip and do a quick flip and take advantage of that dip opportunity. And the reason why I want to buy that massive dip is because if it's the highest inflation period of the titanX token, then I think right around that time and thereon after, that's when it's going to go hyper deflationary into the future. And so if we have that amount of titanX hitting the market, you know, some of it might be sold, some of it might be used for titanX staking, some of it might be burned for hyper. I want to take advantage of that because I think right after that day, when it goes hyper deflationary, it's going to make more sense to hold liquid titanX. And so that's why I'm doing the strategy. I think it's going to be more rewarding. I think we need to run some numbers on that, man, and see if it's going to be more profitable. But I'm going to look into that, Damien, and take a look at it and see. I might adjust the strategy. So you definitely might have something there. So as always, Damien, great comments, my man. RayOX, I've seen titanX Punks NFTs launching also. That's gonna be interesting. Hey Ray, can you DM me the Twitter address for that? I want to take a look at it. Guga, titanX meme coin is going to full send, dude. I definitely agree. I guarantee you, like the meme coin is going to be like, watch it be like something like Titan. Like if the meme coin was just Titan, I think that's going to be a really great meme coin, or maybe just like Titan Inu or something. Man, you guys got me all excited, man. I love this project protocol. Mark, titanX watch references that 86 million has been spent on miners so far. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, 86 million. That is crazy. Imagine the middle of the bull market when it hits up to like, man, dude, at this rate, it could hit above 100 million, maybe 500 million, maybe get into that $1 billion range. That'd be absolutely crazy. Crypto GRFX, what's up, dude? Shout out to you. Oh yeah, also guys, Crypto GRFX, I believe he's doing a masterclass on titanX. He's like the PhD level when it comes to getting into this project protocol, please go check him out on Twitter. Go check him out on his live streams. He's very educational, a really smart dude. And when it comes to titanX, he has this thing down to a science. I'm just a degenerate just playing around. But Crypto GRF is actually the real deal. So shout out to you, man. Gabriel, great stream, bullish on titanX. Can you do a stream in the future about BRC20s and DRC20s and maybe bells if you think it's interesting? It will eventually have Bell 20 inscriptions too. Okay. Gabriel, you actually caught my interest because you said Bell's 20 inscriptions. All right, man, dude. You got me all excited about BRC20s on titanX live stream. So, man, that's interesting, man. I'm gonna check that out, dude. Seriously, thank you. All right, let's see. I got some more comments. Hey, shout out to Viber Finance. Let's go. Shout out to you, my man, my brethren. Please check out Viber Finance over on Twitter and YouTube. Great guy. Rayo X to the stream. Branko, loving the stream. Good stuff. Goo Guy, we need an H-bar stream. Front run the next hype chain before the crowd does. All right. Goo God, I'm writing it down. I'm writing down my black book. H-bar stream. And I'm being serious. I will do an H-bar stream. And I know you've been talking about some picks, and we'll get into them. So, yeah, H-bar stream. Sauce, Lucky, bunch of other alts, Hedera, nobody dump us over. Vibra, H-bar, Hello Future. Cool. Goku. All right. We'll do an H-bar stream. We'll just keep it titanX for right now. Damien, the buy and burn may counter that dip on day a 208. I'm gonna hit you up on Twitter. All right, Damien, hit me up on Twitter. We can talk about it a little bit more. This is just speculation. And, worst comes to worst, in my opinion, I feel more comfortable having that ETH bag, and I think it's going to be a great opportunity. But we can talk about it a little bit more. So, cool. Yeah, that's true, Damien. Multiple burn projects. Cool. Crypto GRFX. Dude, you're a G. Love your content and your approach with the Launchpad direction. I think you're bang on, and that alone brings an incredible amount of value into titanX for the future. Hey, thanks, Crypto GRF. Hey, I really appreciate that, man. The last thing I want to say before we get off this live stream, because I think I cover everything. When titanX first launched, Jay came on my live stream. I think it was on a Monday. He went on the Crypto Kindness live stream, and then he went on Smoothing Crypto. And in the first week and a half, I saw a lot of people FUD titanX. I saw him attacking Jake, and I didn't really like it because what I saw with this project was something that Jake was extremely bullish on. He was trying to bring a new approach to the DeFi ecosystem. Fast forward a couple weeks on, more people got into titanX, and then we started to see more people want to talk about it on Twitter. We see more live streams. We see more people picking it up. And now let's fast forward to today. I go on Twitter and I see you guys absolutely killing it. I see memes. I see more Dune analytics. I see so many people putting up master classes. I see so much education. And what's truly special about titanX at the end of the day is to see where it went from this project that got absolutely FUD into existence to a really great group of really intelligent people talking about different strategies, debating ideas, and absolutely building an awesome community coming to the next bull run. So I want to give you guys a great round of applause to every single one of the people in the titanX community. You guys are loud on Twitter. You're helping people out. You're educating the masses. And the success of titanX isn't going to be me as a live streamer, isn't going to be Jake as a project founder. It's going to be you guys spreading the word and continuing to educate people about this project. So at the end of the day, you guys are the real deal. I really do appreciate you guys. titanX has a special place in my heart. And like I said, any live streamer talking about titanX, give them a follow, show them support, retweet their posts, and continue to build this community. Because in the future, when we hit this bull run, man, I'm gonna be so excited, and I can't wait to see what happens. So guys, that's it for this live stream. I'm going to wrap it up. I got some things to research. And before I wrap this live stream up, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn on bell notifications so I keep you guys updated with the latest, greatest news and information in this space. That being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.